Hi, my name is Elijah Whitaker, and I'm the Facility Engineer for the Virtual Houston RTech. This video will be an introduction to controlling with vSTARS for the VATSIM network. Before you start, it's important to go to the Houston RTech website and download the Tracon file that you want to use for your appropriate controlling session, and the POF and alias file. Go into vSTARS, import the file, and you'll see a screen like this. The first things we'll want to do are go into Control S and type in a few things. I recommend using similar methods to the settings listed here. The aircraft select key is up to you. SSA will show the winds and everything up on the top left, or wherever you move the SSA. Enable handoff point-out sounds will provide audio cues, and tab key will allow to close or open this menu. The network settings allow you to put your CID, password, name, server, rating, and facility you're covering. The last two tabs don't provide any function now, except when using flight strips with adjacent controllers. However, you still will be required to use this, even if it does not do anything on the network today. And click Enter. Next, hit Control F and ensure your center latitude and longitude are appropriate if controlling the non-primary airport, in this case the airport besides San Antonio International. Your visibility range is appropriate to the position controlled. And then go to the third box, Positions and Aliases, and ensure you import the POF and alias file that you downloaded. If controlling a non-primary airport, it's recommended to remove all airports besides that field from the airports list. If we look at the top, there's a couple recommendations that I have for going through the top. I recommend a range ring setting of 10. Maps appropriate to what you'll be controlling. In this case, San Antonio is landing 1-3, so I usually have this map open and the MVA map open. And done. This is up to the controller on what they feel is most appropriate for the lesson or the controlling session that day. Bright settings allow you to dim or brighten different sections of vSTARS. These can be conducted by clicking left click and scrolling the mouse wheel. The character size box will allow you to choose how bold different text boxes are. For example, the list section will change the intensity of said boxes. The site maps will allow you to choose what radar site you're using. It's recommended to use the primary radar site for that airspace unless you need to use multi-mode, which will use all radar sites. In the shift sections, you can set PTL length to the desired distance, and if you'd like to see it for all targets or just your own. Under Preferences, this is where you can save your session. We'll do this a bit later, but you can do that by doing Save As and typing the name, then Enter. If you'd like to move these boxes around your screen, there's a couple things we can do. F7, T, and left click will move the flight plan list. F7, T, C will move the co-suspend. F7, T, V will move the VFR list. F7, T, M will move the low altitude and conflict alerts. F7, T, S will move the sign-on list. The SSA can move with FS. For controlling, this is your RDVS box. You will use the appropriate frequency controlling for that position. In the case of San Antonio North, we will use 124.45. After we've gotten on the network and received a brief, you'll then hit Prime. And you can escape. This box can be reopened with Control R. Text communications will allow you to view an aircraft or text an aircraft. When typing to receive or transmit to an aircraft, ensure you type the call sign and the amount of characters that will make that call sign unique, then click your aircraft select key. I'm not on the network right now, so this won't show anything. Lastly, other important resources that we can use here will be bookmarks. Bookmarks allow a multitude of different functions, including setting a current position where you'd like to be at. This can be done by scrolling the mouse wheel in or out to zoom in, right click to move around, and Control Alt and a number. This will set your view so no matter where you move it or zoom, it'll reset to that position. we can use Control-T in conjunction with ground maps to view aircraft on the ground. Your bookmark can also be set with this. Top-down mode will revert to whatever it was used during that. The last function we have is the Azdex system. By typing .asdx space airport code, you can open the ground map for that airport. Only at 3 airports in ZHU which support safety logic systems, Houston Intercontinental, IAH, Houston Hobby, HOU, and New Orleans International, MSY, can the Azdex be used to control the ground map. Otherwise, this should be used as a supplemental resource only. Similar tools are available within this. Your most common keyboard commands will be using the F keys. From left to right, F3 and left click can be used to initiate a track on an aircraft. This aircraft must be on the correct squawk code and squawking altitude reporting. F4 will allow the usage of dropping a track. F5 F5 and the adjacent controller will allow you to hand off to that controller. For example, handing off to Houston Esler Ultra High on 81 will be handoff 81 left click. You'll see the aircraft flash and then hear an audio cue and see the flash stop whenever the aircraft's been accepted. F6, call sign, or left click will allow the strip request menu to open. This will show the aircraft's flight plan and allow you to change anything in regards to their flight plan or assign a squawk. F7 is your multifunction command. These have a multiple different uses you can use that we saw earlier, and a couple more that you can find in the command reference. F9 is your flight data button. At a bare minimum, this can be used to assign a squawk code on the fly. However, there are also many functions available in the command list that are used for advanced functions. F11 is your conflict alert suppression or inhibition button. This can be used to disable or restart conflict alerts between a certain aircraft or a certain area. Lastly, F12 is your sign-on button. By clicking F12 and typing in the name of a position, then enter, you can log on to the vSTARS network or Sweatbox. As we'll see, the sign-on list will now appear with our own call sign and any adjacent controllers. As we see, Austin approaches online with the POF AW, signifying that they are adjacent to us on the northeast side. As we can see down here, you can use the function to chat with other controllers as well. To sign out from the vSTARS network, you could click F12 asterisk and enter. That concludes the vSTARS introduction for the ZHU Tech. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any member of the training staff or consult the vSTARS controller guide or command reference.